So we have a very interesting guest today. Actually, I wanted to read a recent tweet he just put out on Twitter. It is, if you'd like a surefire formula for making yourself unhappy, here's how you do it. Sow the seeds of deception wherever you go.
That is really...
That is so true. Those are the Debbie Downers, right? We're talking to the Debbie Downers, right?
Yes, because we know we have to surround ourselves around people who are positive.
Right.
Like our audience here.
Right. Thank you,
All
ladies.
these people are positive.
Right. Look at these beautiful smiling
So happy
faces.
to have you with us today, and so happy to share with you today an amazing pastor, motivational speaker, really just a person who puts you on the right path to being a better you. So with us today is Pastor A.R. Bernard of the mega church in Brooklyn, Christian Cultural Center, and also the author of a brand new book. It's called 4 Things Women Want.
Oh, we all need that.
From a man.
Yes,
So
even better.
That's one of the things we're going to be asking him today.
All right.
How does he know this? Come on in.
Welcome. Welcome, sir.
So good to see you.
Nice to see you. Come join us here in our lounge.
Okay.
Yes, we're so glad. We know that you travel the globe,
Yeah.
bringing your inspiration. You were recently in Asia, and you are just everywhere.
It's been fun. I mean, traveling around, getting to know people. I mean, I've been doing this for 38 years, was a banker, but then went into ministry.
Okay.
And loving people. And, you know, I'm a pastor, I'm a shepherd. I help people navigate life, help them find their way. And it is the most rewarding thing that you can do in life, at least for me.
Can you go into that tweet that you just mentioned that you put out yesterday?
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, you know, deception is lying, it's giving false appearances, it's hypocrisy, and our world is filled with masks and images that we forget who we really are in life. So we become a product of the environment, and we practice deceiving, we practice tricking people. And all it does is create an environment around us and the people that we interact with of mistrust. And relationships are based on trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of folks make decisions out of fear rather than trust, and it just gets so draining and exhausting.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
So how do you release yourself from that fear?
Well, fear and faith can't live together. So you decide to live a life of faith. And faith is not just religion. It's a mechanism that is in all of society. You know, for me, all life is spiritual. So it takes faith to start a relationship, to grow, to start a business, whatever it is in life, that you've got to believe in yourself and believe that you can accomplish something.
Start a talk show.
Right, exactly. Well, we have plenty of faith and trust in that, that's for sure. So, you know, we're here in a lounge filled with women, and, you know, women are always wanting things, but apparently you have a
Surrounded by
suggestion,
women.
right? You have a suggestion of 4 things women want from a man.
Yeah, I will tell you, the audacity of me to tell women what they want.
I was wondering about that, but I figured, okay, after 38 years, you must have something.
38 years of ministry, counseling people, and 44 years of marriage.
All right.
Oh, wow,
to the same
bravo.
woman. You know,
Key point, to the same woman.
Yeah, it's not an aggregate. But you know, you learn about life and interviewing and listening to people, and you know, the number one complaint that women have about men is that men don't listen. So after I finished the manuscript, I handed it to my wife. She read it. She looked up at me and smiled, and she said, "You've been listening." So those are my credentials right
One man
there.
who listens, ladies.
Right.
Wow, okay, so, well, you outline them in the book: maturity, decisiveness, consistency, and strength.
Correct. And let me just say, under those 4 things, there are subsets of things.
Okay.
But those 4 things, with every woman that I've spoken to, really summarize what they need in a man for a good relationship. 85% of relationships today are doomed to fail. 40 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce.
Wow.
Second time around, 60% it goes up. So we need some tools. We need some principles to go by and to guide us. And that's what this book does. It presents a set of principles. So maturity, you take that, all right? Cannot tell you how many women I've spoken to who have said to me, "I just wish he would grow up." What does she mean by that? And that's important, because if it's not articulated by her, then the man is left to interpret it. And we usually come up with the wrong interpretation. So it means 2 things. Number 1, responsibility. Number 2, decorum. When a woman says, I wish he would grow up, she's simply saying, I wish he would take responsibility for his words, thoughts, motives, actions, and attitudes. Because maturity doesn't come with age. You could have a 60-year-old man who's adolescent, a 20-year-old young man who's quite mature for his age. Why? Because he's accepted responsibility. So when he accepts responsibility for his words, thoughts, motives, and actions and attitudes, all right, that is the pathway to maturity. Second is decorum. She wants him to know how to conduct himself in any given circumstance or situation. Too often when men can't handle a situation, they get intimidated by it, they get nervous, and if the woman is in that context with them, they regress into adolescence, forcing her to become a mother, and then they get mad at her for mothering him.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Hey, look.
Not me, of course.
Can we get the pastor some holy water, please?
Yeah, I was just looking at
We
that
can use some holy water.
I could use
Not that you need it for any reason other than quenching thy thirst because
Have a taste,
you're
right?
talking. So
Thank you.
let me ask you this: is
Taste
it a
test?
woman's? Go ahead, do your taste test, and then we'll ask. It's good, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Makes
You know,
a difference when
to
you go
note
to
on-
church now instead of doing that.
Right.
Drink it up.
Exactly. People seem to form patterns in their relationships that get into that negative tone that you were just mentioning.
Yeah, and unfortunately, too many women have a pattern of bad relationships. Relationships have to go through a process. You begin with introduction, then go to acquaintance, then move to building a friendship, and then move to intimacy. Some relationships shouldn't go beyond introduction. You've got to process that to see whether you should move to the next stage of relationship. And too often we want to move from introduction to intimacy. And we have problems.
Right.
Pastor, I have to ask you one last question. Is it a woman's responsibility to make these 4 qualities happen for a man?
Absolutely not. The book is written to give women a framework with which to make better decisions in their relationships with men. It's also a book written to men for them to have a measure for their manhood. These are the qualities. I believe that you don't have to pursue in life what you can attract by the person you become. So this helps you become that person and helps the woman understand who that person is so she can make a better judgment.
This sounds like tips that move beyond even loving relationships. This could go in relationships throughout your life.
It works. I walked into a
Yes.
car dealership that I deal with, and the manager came up to me. He said, I heard about your book. Can we talk for a moment? It turned into a 1-hour counseling session about his marriage and situation.
Well, did you
He
get a
left
deal on
there
the
in
car?
tears.
Did you get a deal on the car?
I did get the car deal. He left there
there
in
we go.
tears and ordering a book for him and his wife. It works. It
Yeah.
really works.
We
Fantastic.
want you to sit here for an hour
Yes.
and talk to us about this.
Yes.
We have so many more questions, so we hope that you will come back.
And I want to take you to buy my next car too. Apparently you can
love
get a
to.
deal. All right.
Yeah, the book
All right.
is 4 Things Women Want from a Man from Pastor.
Thank you
A.R.
for
Bernard.
joining us.